All right, we're here to talk about Rick Henderson on Nintendo Switch, and we got this game from Eastasiasoft. So thank you so much for Eastasiasoft to give us the codes to be able to check this game out. And yeah, so it's a shmup, which is totally right up my alley. It's something that looks like it came right out of the 16-bit era. That basically takes this shmup arcade style, endless horizontal scrolling shooter game. It has a tutorial mode, standard mode, hard mode, boss rush mode, and you will be shooting through all these different enemies that come your way. Yeah, you basically work your way as far as you can, and maybe you'll die. That's basically it. No, not maybe you'll die. You most likely will die. It is a really difficult game. You're going to take out over 40 different enemy types and more than 15 different boss variants. 3 different weapon types. You can have a bullet, energy, missiles for a total of over 27 unique weapons. And then you have special attacks for each of the pilots. There's 3 different pilots or ships you can pilot through the entire game. It has a synthwave soundtrack, and like I said, it's endless. But you have 5 different enemy factions and their bosses that you'll work your way through. So if you work your way through those, you'll keep on going and keep on going as long as you can. They have online leaderboards and all this different stuff. So Barry, what'd you think about Rick Henderson?
I thought first off, I think it has a very unique premise. I mean, it's pretty much endless shmup. So if you love shmups, it's an endless shmup. What I found, however, is I found the levels to be on the shorter side, which sometimes is okay. I don't need a level to last for 10 minutes. But then the bosses were like infinite bullet sponges. Like, I was just like, it took me, I feel like I must have fought for like 6 minutes or something on the first boss. Like, it was like, this is the first boss of the game. Why are you taking so long? Give me a chance. And then when you beat him, you get like choose different upgrades. And I'm like, none of these are really helpful. Like, and I did get a helpful one, but like, that was on the second boss, and it was like, and then I died, and I started all over, and I was like, I died, and I was like, do I really want to do that again?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't. I feel like there needs to be a gradual increase in difficulty, like in order to get people to go that one more try.
Hmm.
I could do better on the easier stages and maybe save up lives and get power ups and get ready for the harder stages. But my first time playing, I wound up dying to the first boss, and it
Yep.
was just due to it was a war of attrition. It pretty much came down to I knew a pattern and I screwed up the pattern. All right, let me try again. That had to be a fluke, and I beat him the second time. But it's like, could you imagine if like the Hammer Brothers were put into World 1-1 of Mario? Like like that would turn so many players off. Like,
Totally.
there's a reason those early levels are there to ease you into the game and let you know and learn the mechanics. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad game. I just think that difficulty, and it's not even a difficulty. It's just pattern recognition. But
Yep.
when you know a pattern and the pattern repeats and it repeats and it repeats, and you've already proven that you know the pattern by surviving, you don't want to do that pattern for 6 minutes to prove that. It's just like, okay, yeah, I proved that I've learned the pattern. Can we move on?
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know if you had the same thing or not.
Yeah. I think it was pretty much difficult from the very beginning, but it was short. I feel like the biggest thing that I took from this was this seemed so arcadey that I felt like I needed to see it in an arcade rather than on a home console. Like this was something that would like steal my quarters, basically. And yeah, it was on the short side. The levels were short. You ended up in the boss pretty quick, but then but yeah, the difficulty ramped up so quick. I think they could have spread it out just a little bit more. So yeah, I think I'm right with you as well. And yeah, I think we were joking about this I think yesterday, and I think we were like, oh well, we have a little more time to get into Rick Henderson if you want to, and I said no, I'm good. Like I played enough of it, I'm good. The standard mode I've made it through, a couple bosses, and hard mode I made it through to one boss, and played through the boss raid mode, and I think I made it to the second boss again, which I thought maybe I'd make it further because it was just the bosses, but no, like it is pattern recognition, and I think if I wanted to put more time into that, like I could get better, but I don't want to. That's where I am. Like I this could be something that I could get really good at, and I could climb to the top of the online leaderboard, and I that's cool that they have those, but I don't want to. There's no desire in my heart at all to get good at this game. Um, I don't care.
And I think that's right. I think this is a game made for the shmup enthusiasts. So if you absolutely love bullet hells, you love shmups, this game could be your game of the year. I mean, you might absolutely love it because other than that, the game it plays well, it looks great, the music is fine,
Hmm.
everything about it. It runs beautifully on the Switch. There's no slowdown. Um, it's just that difficulty spike. And I think if they curved the difficulty a little bit to at least get people into the third or the fourth stage, even on their first try,
Yep.
and not be like an arcade trying to kill them, I think more people will be able to get into it and find that oh, I really want to get better at this game.
Yep.
But when a game kicks your butt and the first time you play, even when you've beaten tons of other shmups and you die in the first stage because the boss just won't go down, you start to question what the heck is going on.
Yep.
And I think and I was on the easier difficulty. I didn't even try the harder difficulty because I'm like, well, the easier difficulty is taking me 6 minutes. How's the harder
Hmm.
difficulty going to take me? So I think that could be adjusted. But if it's by design, then that just tells me I am not the audience that it's shooting for, and
Yep.
that's okay.
Yep. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. I think I think by design, it seems like that is the goal. They want to throw you in, and the goal is just get as high and as far as you can because it is endless. And I think it is kind of unfortunate though that there's only five different factions because like you will start repeating and repeating and repeating, and I think I would have liked to see more of that. But I think I don't know much about the team, but I'm assuming it's a small team. Maybe even who knows? It might be just one person that's created this. So it's hard to say. Like I don't I don't expect something from like a huge team in Nintendo. When I think of an indie game, but it would have been nice to have a little more variation, I think, as well. And like you said, like ramp up that difficulty just a little slower to kind of pull people in just a bit more. Um, but but yeah, I think maybe it's not bad. It just could be better.
That's it. It's not a bad game. It could be better. So here's a question: would you recommend it?
That's a hard question because I think overall not only if you're a huge shmup fan. We've had another game that we checked out like several months or so ago. I can't remember the name of it. That one I don't recommend at all. But this
It was
one,
Crisis Wing, I think.
Crisis Wing, yeah, this is a lot better than Crisis Wing. And so if you that one was like I don't even really recommend it to shmup fans. This one, if you're a big shmup fan, like I'd say yes, check this out, but maybe wait till it's on sale, which it is right now. As of recording, it's 20% off, so it's a regular $7.99 price tag in the U.S. or in North America. But yeah, it's 20% off right now. That's not bad. So if you can get it for around $5-6, that's I mean it's there's plenty of entertainment there for that value, I think. But for a full price of $8, I mean, it's not a whole lot of money, really. But I don't think anybody that's not a shmup fan, like a hardcore shmup fan, would enjoy it.
I'm going to agree. I'm going to say if you are a hardcore shmup fan, that's your bread and butter. You collect them, you love them. Then yes, I would absolutely recommend that. Even at $8, I think you can get a lot out of here because it's endless. So you could really just play to your heart's content. If if you're just not experienced with shmups or you play them casually, I would recommend another shmup at the moment because I think the sharp difficulty spike, is going to prevent you from getting as much enjoyment. Now, if it was one of those things where your power up stayed, like you beat the first boss, you got a power up, you die in the second boss, but then you restart and you have that upgrade, like a rogue in that
Mm,
sense, I think I could recommend this game a lot more because then it's like, all right, you're slowly getting stronger.
mm-hmm,
So your ability to progress is directly proportional to how far you get each attempt. But I don't believe it's like that. I think each time you start over from scratch, and that's to me that's just
yeah,
if you get to the first boss or the second boss and you die, unless you know the patterns, you're probably going to have a very similar experience each time,
mm-hmm,
unless you get really good. So
yep.
in that regards, I would say pass, unless you get it on sale, $2, $3 or whatever, and you're curious. It's absolutely worth it.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's interesting too because they talk about in the description for the game and stuff about upgrading your ship and everything. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think as far as I know, it goes away, and there's supposed to be like all these different modes and difficulty levels. There's just standard and hard. That's it. And there's also boss rush mode, so that's cool as well. But like, there's not all these different levels and modes and everything like the description talks about. It kind of builds the game up a lot bigger than it really is. It's a basic arcade shmup that is fairly difficult at its core. But if that sort of thing interests you, $8 is not a whole lot for an experience like that. And on Switch, you can take it wherever you go.
Always a plus.
Yep. So thank you so much, East Asia Soft, for providing the codes again. And that's Rick Henderson.